and then you never stop.
Are you recording there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. 3, 2, 1. Solid. Okay. I'm gonna cold open with our recording. If you guys are fine with that.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. So let me get this pulled up here. Our mics are unmuted, so if you want to laugh or joke or something chortle, you can, but they are unmuted.
All right. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear this, but here's my predictions for the movie. Oh, crap. Now it's going to get really quiet. Oh, no. Now I have to wait. This is the worst idea we've ever had.
Why didn't you wait?
Okay. I think it's not going to be as bad as everyone says it is, but I still think it's going to be bad enough that it's not fun. I think that's the problem. I want it to be so bad it's funny, but I'm worried.
Hey, it's me, Jonah. I think...
It's a terrible idea.
Hang on.
Step out the lobby and do it. This is the best idea ever.
I think the movie's going to be pretty... Like, I think the humor's not going to land. The humor won't be very funny. But I think it might have some really cool shootouts. So, but I could be wrong. Maybe it just stinks. The Alien trailer's playing. This was good. Anyway, here's Cole.
Hey, it's me. It's Cole. I think this movie's gonna suck. It's gonna suck 2 packs of butt over here. So yeah, that's where we're at with it.
I don't know if I said anything to close it out.
Evidently not.
No, I did not. Okay.
Yep.
What you can't hear in that recording is like as soon as the Alien Romulus trailer started, I didn't have my AirPods, so I pulled my hat down over my eyes, just plugged my ears and went, just like started humming to myself. Oh man, I talk about things that have not aged well. That
I mean, some of
recording.
that aged well.
Cole's
aged
you know what?
well.
Mine
Cole
was
is
the
accurate.
one
Cole's
that aged the
aged.
best.
Like a fine wine.
Fine wine.
Mine and yours?
You gave
No.
Listen, you got to have a pessimistic attitude like I do.
Yeah, we got to go in with full negativity. Hey, thank you for tuning into. I forget we're recording. Thank you for tuning into the Movie Rubric. I'm Timothy McDaniel,
Cole Wright.
Jonah Jobai.
and this is the Movie Rubric. And I'm gonna try to talk slower this week. I was off my game last week. I'm rarely ever actually on my game, but Trap, I was extra off my game, and I went back and I listened to it, and I'm like,
Back to
think it's too
Wakanda
bad.
forever.
sound like Eminem, like trying to drop a new
What I
album.
gotta do it.
Okay,
I
that
don't know,
was
I
that
said-
was better than I was
Jonah, are
expecting.
you
That's good.
racist?
I'm Eminem.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to be reviewing, as you heard there, the Borderlands movie. I had the idea because there was a lot of... I thought about doing it during Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, no, it was during Trap. I gave Cole a prediction during Trap, and I thought about it afterwards. I was like, I should have recorded that because I was really wrong. I'm going to try to start asking us before the movie, preferably before we get in the theater, if I can remember.
So we did it once before with the menu.
We did, and we need to go back. I think we should go back to that. So I'm going to try to start asking us beforehand what we're thinking of the movie. I really want to do it with this movie because there was a lot of drama regarding this movie having a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes on its release day. It's climbed a little bit. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Rotten Tomato score here in a little bit. But this movie also, for the first time, made me want to interview people after the movie.
Ooh.
While you were in the restroom, I stood by the popcorn machine. I was just watching people leave, and they just looked so sad.
The energy was low.
It was that Donkey Kong video that
The
Jonah
one you
sent.
said, that was really good.
There was a video on Instagram. It was you don't know what I'm talking about. It's a Donkey Kong GIF where they're in the minecart and they all look really sad. It's the old 90s cartoon. And it says the ride home from Borderlands. And it's like really sad piano music playing.
That's how I felt.
That's how I felt too, yeah.
Oh, it was rough. But like there was a couple of guys walking out, and they just looked defeated.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to like take my phone and be like, "Hey, I have a podcast. Would you like to tell me how you're
tell me
feeling?"
how you feel about that?
I think for the next one, I might do that. Honestly, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that could be cool.
All right, so we're gonna talk spoiler free about this movie. I'm just gonna. So I tried to look up some facts this week. Josh used to be our fact guy.
Yeah.
He left us.
Trivia guy.
What a loser. So I did look up some facts. This one actually had me doing a little bit of digging because I'm just so curious. Directed by Eli Roth. I've never seen a movie directed by Eli Roth. He's apparently did Thanksgiving, which you watched.
No, I saw Green Inferno.
Did you like Green Inferno?
I did enjoy Green Inferno. It's like, here's the thing. As a movie, is it necessarily good? No. It's like a gory, just
be along for the ride kind of thing. Don't think too much about it.
Yeah. I wish this movie was like that. That would have been great. He's also apparently known. I didn't realize he was in Inglourious Bastards, which I love that movie. He was in that. He didn't direct it. The stars of this movie, if you can call them that, Kate Blanchett.
They got some big names.
Actors. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I have the IMDb pulled up here real quick. They had some really big names. Kate Blanchett as Lilith, Kevin Hart as Roland, Edgar Ramirez as Atlas. Why I yet to figure out. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis, and then Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, and then Florian Montenot, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, as Krieg. There's lots of other characters. Jack Black as Claptrap. Random people here and there, but those are the big 6 or so. Here's my favorite stat about this movie. $150 million budget, because Lionsgate confirmed that they spent $30 million on marketing, like printing and marketing. Ooh. And the movie was estimated to cost around 120 to make. So we're looking at $150 million for this movie, and it's made $17 million as of 8 hours ago globally.
That's not good. That is not good.
That's rough.
Yeah.
It's shaping up what many people are saying to be the worst box office flop. And my favorite part, I was telling Jonah about this at practice the other day. Do you guys know what dead internet theory is?
No.
I've heard of it.
It's this idea that like eventually most of your comments and conversations you see on the internet are going to be like AI talking to each other. Like there's not going to be real humans doing like the majority of the reactions are going to be robots. And I think I saw that the other day. I saw a post that said, the Borderlands movie isn't so bad. Just give it a chance. And when I read it, it felt like an AI wrote it. And then I went to the Facebook comments, and the comments were like, I thought this movie was great. Give it a chance. The next comment, it wasn't so bad. People should give it a chance. The third comment, I thought this movie was actually really fun. Just give it. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Industry plants.
I was like, yeah. I was like, either plants, like people getting paid to write reviews,
Yeah.
or bots.
The 2K, I think is the company.
Yeah. 2K.
2K CEO came out, and people were making fun of him because he said, like,
Randy
publicly-
Pitchford?
I think I
Oh,
think
wait,
so.
no. I think it's Randy Pitchford. Either way, go ahead.
Yeah, whoever it was, he was like, he came out, I was like, come on, guys, just give the movie a chance. You like it. And then everyone's like, we watched it. We didn't like it. You're lying.
We did not.
Yeah.
It is Randy Pitchford. He was a meme for the longest time because he just kind of went off the rails around the time of like Borderlands 3. And he's like doing magic tricks in the street to try to hype up his video game. Really weird dude. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
It's weird.
But yeah, no. So
Good job.
yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about the movie. Spoiler free. Before that, actually, I'm going to rewind. What made you guys feel the way you felt about it? I'll go ahead and say the way I felt about mine. Rotten Tomatoes is not a, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not like you talked about Letterboxd. We're aggregate. It's not an aggregate score. It's not an average. What it does is if you give them, it's the amount of people that overall recommend or don't recommend the movie. So like if someone gives it like a 51%, I don't know if that's the metric, but like better than half, then they are considered recommending it even if they hated the movie. So that 0% meant that for at least a few hours there, not a single critic liked the movie, not necessarily that it had a 0% value as a movie. I thought that critics just hate fun, and I thought it's probably not going to be great, but it can't be a 0% movie, right? So that's where I went into it from. So Cole, we'll come to you last because you were the only one of us that was right. Jonah, what about you?
Like, how do we feel about the movie? Just kind of rough thoughts.
Why did you go in when we listened to that recording? What gave you your gut feeling? What were you basing
Why'd
that
you
off
give
of?
the take that you gave?
So, I've only played like half maybe of Borderlands 2. I didn't love it. I like playing with my friends, but I wasn't super into the vibe, and I didn't care for the dialogue or the humor in the games even. Like, or like even in the trailers for like 3 and the Tiny Tina spinoff they did. I was like, I don't know. The humor never got to me, so I said in the recording, I don't think the humor will be very good, but I was like, you know, a lot of times I do think critics, like, if it's like a brain rot movie, critics won't like it. And there's nothing wrong with a good brain rot movie. So I thought, you know, maybe it'll have some stylish action sequences, you know, like the Borderlands games are pretty stylized. So that's why I thought that going into it.
Valid.
But I was wrong.
Valid.
So, well, I was right about the first half.
We all were, except for Cole. Cole, you were not wrong. You were correct. What gave you your gut feeling? Why'd you make your prediction?
Listen, we've seen some bad movies. None of them have been bad enough to receive a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. if it's getting that bad, it has to be bad. Like,
Climbed all the way up to a 9.
I was getting ready to
oh,
really-
is it up to 9? No, it was
it
up
a
to
9?
6 last time I checked.
Oh, really? Maybe it went down again.
We're going to have to talk about it later. I was going to go ahead and look up the tomato score. I had Jonah read me one of the good reviews in the car.
Oh, gosh.
They're crazy. People are saying like, "Oh, if you just turn off your brain and have fun with it." I'm
I can't
like,
have,
no.
You can't have fun with this.
It's
movie.
can't
got
have
a
fun with it.
51% audience score. That means that 51% of the audiences that went and watched this movie gave it a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane to me.
I think some people want to be contrarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like,
Borderlands is a good movie.
Like, we have to be different. Like, you can't just go with the crowd on this one. Like, listen, it's objectively bad. It's bad.
It's okay to hate it.
Like, join the hate and be negative towards this movie because it doesn't deserve any sort of positive
Not
things
really.
coming its way.
It's pretty rough.
They're wanting me to unblock ads, so I have to look at this later. Yeah, I would agree, though. All right, so we can actually we're spoiler-free as best as we can be because there's not really much to spoil in this movie. I think we've kind of said our general thoughts. We didn't like it.
This is like double thumbs down.
No, this movie, like, legit, maybe like in like my least favorite movies of all time.
Is that did it make your top? Don't tell me. I'm going to ask everyone their top 3 least favorite movies they've seen later, or most disappointing, maybe. However you want to look at it.
Yeah. I don't even want to think disappointed because I really didn't have high hopes coming into it. So I
valid.
can't really be disappointed if there's not. Like, I didn't have high hopes and I was still disappointed from it.
That's sad. That's sad. There's really not too much to spoil.
Not really.
Would you recommend audiences go see this movie?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
I told you guys this on the way back. I always want to see how a movie ends. Even if I'm not into it, I gotta see how it ends all the time. If we weren't doing the podcast, there was a point in this movie when I was like, I would leave. If I was by myself or I was with my friends and they wanted to leave, like, and we were doing the podcast and you guys said, "Hey, let's leave," I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even care anymore."
I can tell you the exact moment that if we weren't doing a podcast, I would have left and got my money back. I can tell you
5
the
minutes
exact moment. No, I a little bit further in than that, sadly. I can tell you that. All right, well.
You know what, Tyler? You also made another take that you didn't record
Oh,
about this movie.
please tell me.
You said that this movie was going to be better than Ants.
Ooh. You have some apologizing.
You
to the
stand by
ants.
that?
Yeah.
No, I don't actually. Cole, for what it's worth, I think Ants is a better movie than
You heard it here. There we go.
Your movie rubric first. I found a movie worse than
that you like like worse than ants.
Oh, yeah, Cole. No, I forgot that I said that. You're totally right.
Yeah.
I think that Ants is a much better movie than this movie.
Good job, ants. Low hanging fruit, but
Ants did it.
you did it.
Go Ants.
They did it. I'll take the win here.
All right. So, 2 thumbs down from all of us.
Can I give, like, I don't know.
Can you give 3?
Can I give, like, I
Here,
don't know what that is.
put 2 thumbs down. There you go. Jonah, get in there.
Quadruple.
4 thumbs down from
Yeah.
the movie rubric from Cole. Okay. All right. Well, here it is. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Spoiler warnings. Sound the alarms. This movie's rough. There's not even too much to spoil.
Yeah, not really.
It's based on a video game, and they kind of mostly followed the video game plot, and that's what's really sad because oftentimes I'm like with video game franchises when they don't follow the plot, I'm like, well, it would have been good if you followed the plot. They kind of followed the plot a little. Like, it wasn't as far left field as like the Halo show,
Yeah.
right? But like,
It wasn't even like I don't know. Here's the thing. I didn't really wasn't into Borderlands, so I don't know much on the story. But like from what it sounds like, it, obviously like you just said, followed the plot, and it wasn't like Five Nights at Freddy's where it was like, here's all these ideas, and we're just gonna lump them all together to create our own story here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did a little bit of that, but not near as bad. And also, it should be noted, it's been forever since I played the first game. I played the second one a lot. Didn't play the first one as much. Let me ask you this, Jonah. So, Jonah, you played the first game or the second one?
But the second one.
Second
Some of
one.
The second one.
Let me ask you this. What are the 2, not the story, the 2 biggest gameplay elements of Borderlands 2? Just throw them out there. Don't think too hard on it. The big 2 elements.
The guns.
Guns, that's one. Yeah, right? There's 1,000,005 guns. What do you do with those guns?
You shoot them.
You shoot people.
Yeah, you shoot people. Yeah.
That's Borderlands.
Yes.
That's the whole game.
That was the selling point when it came out. I remember when I was a kid, it's like, oh, there's like a billion guns.
Yeah. That's the game. You shoot people in the face, And then you pick up new guns and new guns and new guns. You might find one gun you get attached to for an hour or two, and then you find something that like you throw it away and you retire it. And there's jokes happening in the background, but it's gunfights and blood and gore. And in this movie, there was 1.5 gunfights.
And if there was a gunfight, they didn't shoot that much.
No.
No one gets like you said, nobody gets a new gun either.
No, never. Like the gun that they start with, they stick with the whole. And Borderlands has fun guns. There's a company in the game that like when you reload the gun, you don't change the mag. You throw the gun and it creates like a black hole or a mini nuke explosion or it zaps people. And then you grab a new gun off your back.
Awesome.
Like that stuff's cool. Borderlands 3 had like guns with legs. And like there's just so many fun guns in Borderlands. And all these guns were like, it's a pistol.
Yep. It's a stereotypical space laser-ish gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there was nothing fun. So, yeah, there's really not too much to spoil. I'll talk a little bit about the plot. Let's go ahead and start with what is your guys', if you had one, favorite character? Whoever wants to go first.
This is the first time I'm going to say absolutely none of them.
Absolutely none.
I didn't like
Dang.
any character in this movie.
Okay, it's valid. It's very valid.
You would think that Claptrap would be able to save the day a little bit, but no.
Yeah.
Jack Black's performance was horrendous.
I thought
like-
his performance was okay. Like
The writing was bad.
his writing was bad, but I think that like
even Jack Black though could try to make something. I feel like no one wanted to be there. From what you could tell, no one wanted to be there that was acting in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jonah, do you have a favorite character?
If I had to pick one, I can't remember his name. The psycho, the ex-psycho that's on the team.
Was that Krieg?
Krieg,
I think
Yeah,
so,
Krieg.
right?
He's saying I didn't love Krieg.
Apollo Krieg.
Also, ironically, he talks the least in the whole movie. If that tells you anything.
I mean, that's you know what?
but
We needed more of that. You
He
know,
had
this
like-
is a
He had
silent
some
movie.
of the
Yeah.
cringiest lines though. He just like when they were getting in the elevator, he would just go like, and like throw like a one dumb off line, and then no one around him reacted to the dumb line he
reacted
just
to it,
said.
yeah.
They just
He's, you know what he
he had a
is?
few
This is-
lines.
This is bootleg Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's bootleg Drax that I'm looking at right
Yes, yeah. That's
don't
that's
you
completely
dare,
fair.
no, don't you dare put this guy on Drax's level.
there. Bootleg though.
Bootleg
No,
Drax.
bootleg removed like 4 different times. Like maybe
This is dollar store, and then
Yeah.
Drax is like I don't know.
no.
the
If this is
Trader Joe's.
anything, it's like when you see like on Facebook those like Mexican superhero dolls.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah, it's
bootleg.
like that version of
Captain
Drax.
Superman.
Yeah.
It's just like a Wolverine Barbie doll.
Yeah,
Like,
this is Guatemala back alley.
yeah. Like if I
Psycho.
still think that's too nice of a comparison. Okay. My favorite character, I think it's Marcus was his name, the guns guy.
Yeah,
I-
not in there very much, but
No, not in there very much, but like he's the only character that was somewhat true to the video. He was actually very true to the video games. He just tried to sell I don't know why I said Juns with a soft G. He tried to sell guns and he was obnoxious about it. And he had a couple funny-ish lines, like the scene where she's in the bus and he's just, sorry, can't turn it off. It's policy while driving the bus. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So, all right. Least favorite character. Do you have a least favorite character?
All of them.
All of them. That's a cop-out,
Let's
Cole.
see. I'm gonna go with. You know, I'm gonna go with the Tiny Tina, or whatever her name is.
yeah, Tiny Tina.
She's terrible. She's annoying.
Oh, least favorite. I forgot we're doing least favorite. I was like, really? She's your favorite? Least favorite? Yeah. Okay.
it was
All right.
it between her, whatever Kate Blanchard's character was, and just about every other character in the movie. So they're in a close running. But yeah, Tiny Tina was definitely the one that got on my nerves. More so than Claptrap, even.
Really?
Yeah, like Claptrap, like he's annoying. Tiny Tina like has a face that's also like, you know, punchable, and she's a child, which is probably not a good thing to say, but you know, it is what it is.
Sorry, Miss Greenblatt, if you ever listen.
Hey,
to
she
this.
was in Infinity War. She was.
Yeah, she was Baby Gamora.
She was Baby Gamora.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah,
She was good. She was good in something.
She had like 4 lines.
I think she was in Barbie too. She was fine in that.
I don't think she did a bad job.
She's just obnoxious.
I was going to try to find it, but not able to find it. I found something. It was a Screen Rant article where they said that Greenblatt, the girl playing Tiny Tina, said that she drew inspiration from Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and I
Yeah,
think
you said that. Yeah,
that's what ruined what should have been a very fun character. But I also, you've never played the games. I don't know how you bring that character to the big screen. Well, it's a hard character to do, so it's hard to falter for that.
Could they have survived without Tiny Tina being in the movie?
Yes, to a degree.
She's like, I would argue, besides Claptrap, she's probably the most like iconic Borderlands character. Is Tiny
Yeah,
Tina.
I don't remember how much she's in the first game.
See, when I think of Borderlands, like the first like character I would think of is the Krieg fellow.
Krieg. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because Tiny Tina had her own game. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of
Maybe
her.
and maybe she was really important to the plot of the first game, and I just don't remember. Like I said, I played it when it came out, didn't really touch it too much. I don't remember how old I was when that came out. So maybe she was in there a lot more than I'm remembering. But I would say you could have made this movie without her, and then maybe brought her in because she does have a bigger role in the second game.
Yeah.
I know she's in the first game. I just don't remember how much.
She's a special one though.
So she thought.
So she thought. Yeah.
In like what was the least twist in the entire world.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say my least favorite character was Lilith, only because I loved Lilith in the games. I thought Lilith was cool. Like when I was like a dumb, like horny teenager, I was like, oh yeah, hot redhead with like psycho powers. I'm like, this is awesome. And I just think that I love Kate Blanchett. She's totally wrong casting choice for this character. And she had the most lines and they were all cringy. All of them.
Yeah, she didn't even try.
She was corny.
Didn't even try
And you
at all.
told me like on the press tour, she clearly does not like that she's in this, right?
Yeah, apparently like
no one does.
they were
Yeah, I mean, I
asking
don't
her
blame
at interviews like to hype up the movie, and she's contractually obligated to not say anything too bad about
Yeah.
it. So like she would say things like, "It's no Citizen Kane," you know,
Yeah.
but like to try to
It
avoid.
sure wasn't. Its Sky Sharks look like Citizen Kane, but you know.
I was getting Mark Hamill trying not to trash talk The Last Jedi without outright trashing The Last Jedi vibes.
Yeah. Or like John Boyega did that a lot too. with
Yes.
The last one. Yeah.
Yeah, Jonah, who's your least favorite character?
I'm gonna go with Claptrap.
Really?
Here's the thing: when Claptrap first shows up, he had some like he never made me laugh, but he had some like the nostrils, like that.
Yeah.
But then the thing about Claptrap is he never stops talking. Like he just yaps and yaps and yaps, and then after like 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh. There's a scene in the movie, where he's like a distraction, and they distract these psychos, and they all unload their guns into him. And like I knew he was fine because he says earlier in the movie that like he's invincible or something. But that happens like, please tell me he's dead. Like please tell me Claptrap's dead, and I would be so happy. But no, he comes back, and then I have the same reaction as all the characters. He comes back like, oh,
There's a few times it was like me and Jonah are both having the fingers crossed over there, like, come on, Tiny Tina, fall on the acid.
fall on the acid, yeah, please.
Yeah.
He falls in the pit, like yes.
Weirdly enough, I didn't hate Claptrap, but I think it's because in the games he doesn't shut up. Like that is his character. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't shut up. That's Claptrap. And
But you're doing something like fun.
Yeah, I think when you're in the middle of shooting, maybe. It's not as noticeable. But when you have to listen to everything he's saying.
Claptrap had my favorite line in the movie, which was as they're getting out of the one somewhat real shootout and they're about to go up the stairs. He's like, "Yeah, woo, we're invincible. Oh no, stairs!" And it was just back to back, and I actually chuckled a little bit. I was like, "That's kind of funny."
Yeah.
You know what Claptrap is? He's all the worst characteristics of Jar Jar Binks, is what he is.
In this movie, a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Claptrap because of the games. I think Jack Black did okay. I think the writing was terrible. I don't blame Jack Black for the writing, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead and move on, unless there's another character you guys want to talk about. But I think we agree they all suck.
They're all
Sucked, yeah.
all terrible.
Yeah.
all terrible. Favorite part of the movie, if you have one.
The credits.
Credits were. Oh, yeah, the opening credits were pretty good.
I wasn't expecting. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cole, you're not wrong. The credits, they couldn't come fast. Cole pointed out the movie was only like an hour and a half long.
It felt like 2.5
I was
hours.
checking my watch. I was like, oh my gosh, is this done?
It's insane how long this felt.
Like, that's how I felt when we watched The Creator. But, like, this was shorter than The Creator and felt longer than Way of Water.
It did.
Yeah.
It felt longer than the Avatar movie by a margin. Yeah. Okay. So Cole's favorite part was the credits. I'll accept that.
That's fair. Oh man, favorite part of the movie. I would say the opening credits were kind of stylized. They look kind of cool.
I don't even remember. I
they
think
had,
I
like-
blocked them out.
They had like the Borderlands art style. It was kind of cool, I guess. And then maybe, I guess when they're in the sewers and there's like somewhat of a shootout, I guess. I didn't even really like that much though. But I mean, if I had to pick one.
That is my favorite part. The
Yeah.
only non original track in the movie, they play Ace of Spades, and there's what you can kind of call a shootout in the sewers, but like it was my favorite part because it was the only time we actually got to see people shoot each other.
Yeah, exactly.
But even like you said, there's a couple times like they'd start to show some action and then they'd cut away.
Yeah. Like the spinning scene. You told me about that, yeah.
Tiny Tina jumped up at one point. She goes to Creek. She goes, spin me. And you see her start to shoot. And then the camera turns. I'm like,
That's a cool thing.
why'd you stop?
That was cool. And most of the choreography is like them going like bang, bang, bang. And then it cuts to a guy going like, you know, and then it's like,
You know what could have been my favorite part in the movie if they did it correctly?
dying.
Well, yes, but Claptrap doing the distraction because they just were totally ripping off the SpongeBob movie.
Oh, yeah.
when they did that.
Yeah, me and Colleen
if he would have said, "I need to go to the bathroom," yeah, you know what?
This movie got it, yeah.
You got my favorite part there.
Get a pass.
But they didn't. And unfortunately, Claptrap didn't die.
Yes. Unfortunately, he lived.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Awful.
Jonah. I think that was my favorite part of the movie because it was the only somewhat real shootout and takes us into our least favorite part of the movie. It's hard to narrow it down, guys. I have a very clearly defined least
I don't
favorite
think
part.
I have a specific part because I didn't like all of it.
It's where I almost walked out.
I think for me, when I my annoyingness kicked into high gear when they start like hardcore expedition dumping when Jamie Lee Curtis shows up and she literally like you haven't heard pretty much there's no character development or background for any of the characters. Then they meet this Jamie Lee Curtis lady and then she walks up to Kate Blanchett and she's like, yeah, remember when you were a kid and then they attacked you, then your mom brought her to me and then you were from this planet and then and I'm like, dude,
That's basically how it was.
this is ridiculous. This is crazy.
Exposition dumps, and also, Jonah, I think you nailed it in the theater. Like, I've never felt like a movie like was doing everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yes, yeah. So much happens.
I think
in
you
this movie,
said
but
it in the theater. This movie is the worst example of telling and not showing.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you're describing a much better, more interesting movie that we would like to see.
This isn't even my least favorite part, but it just made me mad. The whole first third of the movie is narrated. Mm-hmm. No other part of the movie is.
Yeah, they stop for some.
Yeah,
they stop doing
Just the
not
first third.
convenient.
Yeah.
So they're narrating it poorly. And then Kate Blanchett's character Liv, she was like, I landed on the planet. And then I ran into a different kind of psycho. And you see the psycho drive up. She's like, but I don't remember the exact word. She's like, but I dealt with him. And then like it shows the car blow up and it shows her again. And then she's like, and then I drove away. And I'm like, why are you you're showing us.
I can see it.
Why are you telling us
talking
this?
about?
What is happening?
Like, I could put it together what you're doing here.
My
I can
actual
see.
least favorite part, it's with the same character with a very similar thing. With the one that I got mad about was they're in the car. Tanis is in the car, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and they're covered in like goo and food and stuff. I don't even remember. And she takes out that little cleaner, and she just like cleans her face.
Oh yeah.
And they all glare at her, and she's like, "Oh, did you guys want to use this too?" And that was the moment that if I had
over the
not,
edge,
if
yeah.
I had not been there for the podcast, I would have left.
Okay,
Yeah.
what on that part? Because there's a bunch of other garbage leading up to that. What made that part so specific that you would walk out?
Just all the garbage leading up to it, and then that line is just so cliche.
Yeah.
And it's the lowest
corny.
hanging fruit of dialogue, and like in a realistic world, someone would just be like, "Okay, we use that." Like, and I don't get it's Borderlands; it's not realistic, but like the dialogue has to flow somewhat, and that just felt like.
He's right behind me, isn't he? Like
Yeah,
that.
it just felt like a high schooler writing, and like I think we wrote better stuff than that in high school. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying what we did was good.
No, I'm saying
Don't
that-
look up our Oedipus stuff on YouTube. But
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna say it's better than Borderlands.
I genuinely think our second Oedipus movie was better.
probably
I'd say
more
our-
entertaining.
I'd
for
say our
sure.
first one was honestly.
Oh my gosh. And we were high schoolers with a $10 camcorder. No, like that was my least favorite part. Leading right up to that, similar Tanis, and this one's kind of with Claptrap, is Lilith's like, I'm gonna go lay down. And she like storms off. And Claptrap pops in the shower and then it electrocutes him and he's like spinning around the room screaming, and Jamie Lee Curtis is going. And then Kevin Hart's character's like, and then Tiny Tina's like, hands on hip, shaking her head, and Claptrap's just spinning and running into stuff. And it went on for like what felt like
A long time.
it might have only been 5 seconds, but it felt like it went on for like half a minute of everyone just being like,
Oh,
that Claptrap. Woo! Like you, the audience. Like,
All those faces you made, all our listeners are gonna be very confused when they don't have the video to go with it.
this video is going to be on YouTube.
YouTube.com/movie rubric.
Good job. You did a URL. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I think it's the movie rubric. But no, like it feels like I figured it out. The like cleaning. Oh, did you guys want to use this too? In that scene, it felt like a bad sitcom.
Yes.
That's
I agree.
This whole movie, everything about this movie is clicking for me. It's like I'm unlocking my third
Your brain.
my Doctor Strange eye just so
You're horribly CGI.
yeah, my horrible CGI. It just felt like a bad sitcom. The whole thing.
I agree. Bad sitcom humor.
Even a bad sitcom could at least have something.
At least a bad
redeeming
sitcom
about
has some heart to it.
it. Yeah, this
Sometimes.
this one like they couldn't. I don't even know. Like
A bad sitcom probably doesn't have a budget of $120 million.
I don't know how you fumble it this bad. I really don't. Like, how do you have something? Again, not a big Borderlands fan, but like a lot of it has a big following. How do you fumble it this bad?
Yeah.
You get a guy who specializes in gory R-rated movies, and then you make it PG-13.
Yeah,
That's
same.
step one. Like if we were to take this, I don't think it's in the shot. I have a whiteboard behind me. If we were to
Write it
the school bought a ginormous whiteboard on wheels, and I just want to use it for the next like Halo tournament or March Madness. I just want to wheel it in and like Pepe Sylvia from Always Sunny on it. If we were to get out that giant whiteboard, number one, you hire a guy who specializes in R-rated, gory, bloody movies. You hand him the reins to a massive franchise and tell him to make it PG-13.
Yeah.
Say, if you would have had the freedom, like say they wanted to make it rated R, which I get it, not a smart business decision because
Yes, it would be. Deadpool and Wolverine's about to break. Like it just joined the $1 billion club.
I know,
It might
but
break $2 billion.
I think you want to get. I don't know. It's tough because we've had this issue with like when we talk about Megan and what was another one? It was like a PG-13. I always saw another one. It was like should have been R.
People say that about Venom.
Venom, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but like then you wouldn't be able to. You would have. I don't even know. It's weird.
My only counter argument to you, because you're not wrong. My biggest counter argument to you, I think those movies probably should have also been R, but like those movies didn't have a pre-established fan base. This game has a pre-established fan base of people playing an M for mature 18 plus game. If you're not going to make it for your adult 18 plus audience, then you have to make it for kids. And they didn't make it for kids either.
No.
They made it for middle of the road. So the people who love the games and that style of humor and the blood and gore aren't going to enjoy it. And you can't bring kids to go see this movie.
Yeah.
Like they alienated both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I don't like it. They try to do, like you said, they really try to do like a knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. Like this like sanitized shootout, like sci-fi movie that's really
Except
bad. Ragtag team.
All the things that you like about Guardians of the Galaxy are not
is
present.
not there.
None of them.
They got one song, and it was Ace of Spades. Good song, but like
Ace of Spades.
they spent all their budget on that. Everything else was generic background song.
Yeah. Basic songs.
It made me, yeah. And then I've read a couple things. These might be rumors. Supposedly, they shot it to be rated R. And one guy, this guy could be totally just pulling nonsense out of his butt. He's like, I was on the set. We shot it to be R-rated. There's blood and gore everywhere. And then Lionsgate made us cut it down to PG-13. Maybe.
Could happen.
Maybe.
Could happen.
Like,
Yeah.
it does happen from time to time. I don't know, though. That's like the only saving grace. I have a really big second suspicion as to why this movie sucked. But two loads of butt. Was that the
2 packs of butt.
two packs of butt? Why it smoked 2 packs of butt? You took characters that are supposed to appeal to horny teenagers to a degree. Like they're not like completely overly sexualized, but they're pretty sexualized. And like they're like early 20s with Tannis being like 30s. And you cast people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s as them.
Yeah.
Why? Who did actually, I'm going to look it up. Who did the casting for this movie? Because I want to avoid movies from them in the future.
All these kids, they love that Kevin Hart and The Rock. Let's get him in there.
No, if The Rock was
The Rock would have been a great choice for the guy Kevin Hart played.
I would have liked him to call Claptrap a jabroni.
That would have been a way more entertaining movie.
I looked up, I said who did the casting for Borderlands, and it didn't pop up, so they might be keeping it. We might never know.
Yeah, they don't want to release that to the public. They're gonna get
I have to go watch
put
them.
on a list.
Yeah.
Have to watch the movie again to watch the credits to find out, and I'm not doing
Just
that.
fast forward.
Not
Just
worth
wait for it to come to streaming and then do it.
But then they'll get a view, and I don't want to give
oh
them a
my
view.
gosh! Like your one view is gonna be you're like the only person that watches it on streaming.
Maybe I don't know, but like Kate Blanchett's in her 60s playing a 22-year-old. Jamie Lee Curtis is 60.
She's got to be upper.
She's got to be 70s.
upper 60s, close to 70, playing like what's supposed to be like a 30-year-old. You got, I don't know how old Moxie is supposed to be, but like I'll show you a picture of Moxie later, and you're gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's just insane. And then the character that Kevin Hart is supposed to play, if I remember correctly, is like a big, beefy, muscular dude. I think Terry Crews would have been a perfect choice for that.
Yeah.
Tiny Tina,
I think if
That's
she had
hard.
better writing, maybe it could have been fine.
maybe. I think if she hadn't tried to channel Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
I think they could have gone a little younger. Because then if the dialogue is cringy, it's like an actual little girl delivering it instead of like someone who looks like she's a teenager trying to pass for a little girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like makeup wise and like face wise, she did look like Tiny Tina.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It just didn't work.
Yeah. It didn't work.
I was upset that Kevin Hart didn't get killed off in this movie or his character.
That was so stupid that he didn't, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the point of that?
He's like, I'll see you at the vault, and then sends them up the thing. And,
And then
then
he gets tackled and
And they're literally like, what about Roland? And then Kate Blanchett's like, he'll be fine. And then customer
Yeah,
no
like,
one
what
cares.
happened?
huge question popped into my head when he did show up at the vault. I was like, how do you know where the vault was?
Yeah.
He was like unconscious
know
in a
that?
sewer when they decided to trek halfway across like wherever they were at.
Yeah.
I've got so much phlegm in my throat. I'm so sorry.
Like,
I'm trying to do it in the mic. Yeah, that made no sense to me. And then he had my other sitcom-y, least favorite sitcom-y line, which is when Lilith goes Phoenix mode, and they were like, who saw that coming? And I was like, I looked at Jonah and said, anyone who's played the games. Everyone who's played the game saw that coming. And then
Yeah.
probably everyone else too.
yeah. Literally.
I mean, I didn't because I didn't play the game. So like, you know, it was nothing spectacular.
Yeah.
No, you didn't care.
All these big moments, like, I just didn't care. Like,
Yeah.
None of
they
them.
didn't give me a reason to care.
But she goes full Phoenix mode, and then my least favorite line, she gives Kevin Hart shields, and he goes, oh, man, I got shield now. There's a bullet for you, and a bullet for you too, and a bullet for you too. And I just started rubbing my temples.
Like,
It's like, oh my gosh. And then whenever they lose their shields, he literally hasn't moved from his spot. He's been like feet planted to the same spot for like the last
that whole last scene was weird.
however long that shootout in
Yeah.
quotes was. And then I was like, huh? Yeah, it was just
it was weird.
Speaking of shields, I like the product placement on the.
Oh,
You
that
didn't hit me
was
because
so
I have
funny.
the Ultra Shield.
Atlas Max Ultra Shield.
It was beautiful.
It's like we kind of talked about that. Like, yeah, they shoot a giant gun at him, and you can see a force field block all the bullets. And then he literally like pretty much looks at the camera and goes, "They couldn't shoot me due to my Atlas Super Shield." I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen with that.
Do you think that guy was trying to sound like Tommy Wiseau to warn us?
I think he
Maybe.
was.
Do you think he was trying to get us out of the theater?
like-
No,
Get it in a trailer.
listen, they needed Mr. Wiseau in there to save this movie.
If he was Mr. Atlas or whatever his name was,
Should have
this
made
movie
him
was
all the
awesome.
characters.
I think they should have made Tommy Wiseau the psycho.
Show me the vault.
made him Claptrap. Claptrap would have been a great character then.
I will do a distraction.
Oh my gosh.
Lilith, I did not.
I did not.
I did not shoot her.
It would have been so much better. So much better.
much
Oh,
You're
Oh, hi,
tearing
Ty-
me apart, Lilith.
Tiny Tina, you're tearing me apart.
Oh, hi, Roland.
Oh, Hyro.
I don't think any of us have a good Tommy Wiseau
We don't.
impression.
We don't
and that-
really.
That's what makes this
Man
bit
is
so
a
sad.
man is a he's his own breed.
He really is.
Funny story, Krieg. It would have been so good. That movie, any
Now,
movie.
yeah, just imagine he did like a little screaming thing. Haha, what a story, Greg.
What a story, Krieg.
Oh, hi, Tina. No,
hi,
just throwing that- oh, hi, Tina. Oh, my gosh. So, was there anything about this movie you guys liked? We talked about maybe kind of the shootout a little bit. I put, for my likes, I put not much. One or two funny jokes. Occasionally, Claptrap was somewhat funny.
I mean,
those are literally my only 3 likes for this movie.
So we got to look at like the other aspects of like our rubric, audio and visual. I mean, audio, nothing spectacular.
I think the gun sounded good. I forgot to put that on here, but
Guns were loud. I
the
like
guns sounded crisp.
Yeah.
I like a crisp sounding gun in video games and movies. I thought the gun sounded good.
Visuals, I mean, you have Trash Planet #1.
They
and then you got some sewers.
mostly stuck to the aesthetic of the game. Mostly, like
I thought visuals was like hit and miss because there's like when they're like in the city and it's close quarters. I'm like, okay, this is like a practical set, and clearly the set designers seem like they had a lot of fun. Like Moxie's like bar, they're not in it very long and small, but like they have like the sign. I was like, this looks pretty cool. But then there's scenes like, particularly the 2 worst looking scenes when they meet Tiny Tina, when Kate Blanchett meets Tiny Tina, and like the ground blows up, and she looks up and she's like, "Whoa!" I'm like,
Yeah.
that is a terrible green screen. And then at the end, when they're in like the cheese canyon, there's holes everywhere.
The cheese
and like, and then it's like they're all like, it's a huge area, and they're all kind of staying kind of close together. I'm like, this is like
A CG set.
this is a CG set, and it looks really corny. And yeah, so it's like it was all over the place. Like some parts I thought looked fine, some parts didn't. So
It was also that scene reminded me. This movie is MacGuffin the movie.
yes,
Like half the movie is just let's go here and find this thing. Let's go here find this person. Let's go here find this person. And then we get the key, and it's like, but now we've got to find the third one. It's like, oh, we've got the other key. And then it's like,
Yeah, what'd you
okay, and we've got the girl. Sure, why not? Like it was just so bad.
yeah. One other thing I want to mention that I was like, well, I didn't understand. Maybe I misinterpreted something with the movie. I think I mentioned this when we were going home. So in the movie, Kate Blanchett's character, she's like this tough bounty hunter. I don't care about nobody, you know. So she goes to the planet. She thinks I have to get Tiny Tina, right? So she tries to get Tiny Tina, and then Atlas ends up chasing her. They get in the fight. That fight ends. The chase ends, and she says like, the Atlas is after me now. Clearly my deal's off. So why? And she doesn't want to find the vault. So why does she stick around with everybody? Why does she leave? What purpose? Is that?
No one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows.
He's like, we're in this together now. I'm like, why?
I had the thought mid-movie, why didn't she turn over Tiny Tina to Nox? Like they're there on the roof of the thing, and Nox flies up, tracking the beacon that we later found out was like a beacon. Oh, maybe it was just right that one. I don't know. She flies up, and she's like, I've got the girl. And then something happens, and all of a sudden we're fighting Atlas now. And I'm like, why didn't she just turn over Tina?
Yeah, like I got her. Where's my reward?
Yeah, then and there, movie could have ended.
Yeah.
And everyone would have cheered.
Yeah. Thank God.
Like, yep.
Woo!
Good
Go back
movie,
to
everyone.
more. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know. That was something I was like, I don't get that. And I probably wasn't supposed to.
I'd say no one gets that.
No
The
one gets
writers don't get it.
Like, oh, I guess.
Kate Blanchett certainly didn't get it.
Yeah, I guess we have to keep the movie going, but let's say she stays with them.
So rough. Jeez. Well, I think we've covered most of our dislikes. I love one of mine here is why are we in a nursing home?
Dang.
Just
Yeah.
what it felt like
people.
half the time.
Yeah.
All they could afford. 'Cause, like, they have big names.
It can't be all they could afford because those people cost more than if they had hired some like 20-year-old nothing burger actors and actresses. They probably would have enjoyed the movie more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they wanted that star power because maybe someone had to know. There's something else in here. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole of this Borderlands conspiracy.
Look it up. Like I bet
Like, why? Why?
You're probably right. Someone had connections, and it's like I've got a contract with Kate Blanchett. She's got a.
Jack
I've got to
Black.
get her so many movies a year. Like, will you put her in Borderlands? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that maybe
we
was the
need
direct-
someone to do a goofy voice at Jack Black. You know,
He just did Bowser. It's a video game movie.
he's done Kung Fu Panda.
Once again, I don't know how accurate it is, but supposedly the Claptrap voice actor wanted to be in the movie.
Why would
Yeah.
you not
Why'd you
use
not
it?
Why not use him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. Once again, don't know how true it is. I just saw some things where, like, I guess they were interviewing him about it, and he's like, I would have loved to have done it, but I never got the call.
This is my my theory. I think they wrote the script, the studio, and like everybody read the script, and they're like, this stinks, but we have to make the movie. We're on a deadline. Let's get a bunch of big names that people who aren't really like into the games are gonna see and think, oh wow, a sci-fi movie with Jack Black and Kate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis and Kevin Hart. What a blast! I'll see it.
You're probably right, but
Yeah.
it's
But it
just awful.
definitely was. You know, it didn't add to anything. It actually made it way worse than it.
Oh yeah, no, very
100%.
miscast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's proof that star power alone cannot save a movie.
Yes.
it never has. I don't think that I'm aware of.
They have to actually enjoy what they're doing, and no one enjoyed what they were doing.
No.
I have no more. This is turning into a roast, which it deserves.
Yeah,
it totally
yeah.
deserves to be a
We're
roast.
beating a dead horse here.
I just have nothing good or more to say about it. I'm just so disinterested.
Yeah.
I
I
It's
don't
rough.
even really know what to say. When I was trying to collect my thoughts before coming over, and I was like,
it's
I don't really know what. I have
Pee-pee
no
poo-poo.
thoughts. Pee-pee poo-poo fart.
yeah, it
Wiener
was-
ball.
I
wiener.
laughed more at Diary of a Wimpy Kid than I did this movie.
That's a
and,
peak movie.
Captain Underpants. That was the one I was
Another
saying.
peak
I
movie.
laughed more. I laughed more at both of those movies than I did at this movie.
I mean,
Wow, wee mama.
I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's some facts right there.
Yeah.
Movie Mama, this movie stinks.
Okay. Let's go on to the rubric if you guys are fine with that.
Yeah.
We talked about maybe swapping something out. I think we should keep it because the point of this was that most movies, no matter how bad they are, don't truly deserve a 0%. So we talked about maybe swapping audio out and
Are we allowed to give zeros on rubric scores?
ones.
Okay.
Ones is
Say, come on.
well, actually, you know what? We've never had that conversation. Like
Yeah, can you do a 0?
one on my rubric mentally is unacceptable, but then in theory, a movie could score what is I guess what
have to be
would
a 25% at best.
be a 25% at best,
Or
so
at
I guess
worst,
if,
I mean,
at worst. So I guess if you didn't let it go to 0, then a movie is guaranteed at least a 25%.
I don't think this 25 is too high, honestly.
You know what? I'm with Cole. Let's vote on it right here now. Movie rubric first. We're voting on the rubric. I say yeah, you can give a 0.
I'm saying
Yep.
give it a 0.
Give it
Yeah.
a 0.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anything here is gonna get a 0 from me.
I would agree. I would agree.
But I think that a 0 would not be out of the realm of possibilities. So
Yeah.
I'll start us off. Plot 1. This is one of the few ones for plot I feel like I've given. Like I think my other lowest one may have been the creator, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Creator was handing out ones like nobody's business.
for me, plot was non-existent, and what was there sucked. It just didn't make sense. And I'm including dialogue into plot. Bad sitcom. Oh my gosh, another one I said bad sitcom, another one popped in my head. She was sitting at the bar and she was like, I'm trying to do like the Botox old lady Kate Blanchett face. She was like, there's no amount of money that'd make me go back on that planet. All right, I'm in. Just so bad.
I knew it was coming from a mile away too. Yeah.
So bad. All right, I'm a 1 for plot. Goal.
I'm also going to 1. Abysmal. Complete garbage. Like, yeah, that sound right there was the plot. Actually, that sound right there was more enjoyable than the plot of this movie.
I've taken dumps better than this movie.
It's everything and nothing all at the same time. It's everything, nothing, and
It's everything all everywhere all at once, but just the bad stuff.
yeah, everywhere all at once.
I don't even like talking about this movie and that movie in the same
sentence. I
in the
felt
same
wrong.
episode.
It's like a sin.
Yeah, like the same episode. What are you trying to do? You're like beating your phone.
Well, I'm trying to like prop it up here, but
it goes just over going. Just beating his phone against it. Jonah to Jonah.
Jonah to Jonah.
Jonah to Jonah. What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it a 1-2.
A 1-2. That's so you 12.
what?
12.
12?
1-2.
Okay.
1 and additionally.
Bad dad joke. I'm sorry.
That was pretty good. I thought it was clever.
Oh, wait, you had the rim shot thing.
Oh yeah, do that.
Oh, wait.
Hey.
Yeah, let's get it. I think a 0 for me would be if a plot was like I couldn't explain what happened, like in a bad way,
I would agree.
like nonsensical. This at least
Sky
like,
Sharks.
Yeah, Sky Sharks. This I could
Sky
actually at
Sharks,
least
yeah,
tell
that's
you.
a
what
0
happened.
plot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 1. So boring. Like Cole said, everything happens and nothing happens. There's always something going on. Someone's making a riff or saying something, but like if you look at like the plot, nothing is really of interest, of value is happening. The whole movie. 1.
All right, Cole. Characters. What are you giggles on with that one?
We're about to make history here, boys.
Are you giving a 0?
First 0 ever. This was, I hated every character.
Yeah.
Like, normally there's at least a redeeming quality in a character, even if I don't necessarily like all of them. I can't think of any.
Oh.
I genuinely can't think of any that's just like not, I'm not going to go easy on you here, Borderlands, because you shouldn't have, screwed up this badly.
Valid.
Dang.
The first 0. Wow. Jonah, characters.
History books. I'm gonna give it a 1 only because, like I said, I nose exhaled a few times.
Was that because of the characters or the plot?
I mean, like some of the claptraps little bits, I guess. And
Okay.
like, I can't say 0. 0 would be like, I don't know. I don't think I can give it a 0.
Yeah.
Like I still hate it. 0's like I'm putting a dartboard of Roland on the wall and I'm going to throw darts at it at night.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm going to repress this movie for years to come.
I'm also a 1. I could maybe be a 0 if there was a few. There was a couple jokes I could maybe go up to a 2. Just think that it's the casting. Maybe in a different universe, even with the bad dialogue, I would have liked the movie more if the characters felt a little bit more like them. Claptrap occasionally had I think Jack Black. I know you said you didn't think Jack Black did a good job. I think he's the only person in this movie that tried.
Really?
Yeah, like his lines. he channeled Claptrap to the best of Jack Black's ability.
He seemed like he was at least trying to have some fun.
Yeah, I think that like
Well, yeah, he wasn't on set.
the writing, yeah, he didn't apparently ever meet anyone from the other cast, according to Kate Blanchett. I don't think his lines were well, but I think he felt like he was giving it a best effort, and I applaud that because no one else was.
Yes.
No one else wanted to be in this movie, so it's a 1, not a 0 for me. But I it could be a 0 in a different universe. All right, Jonah, visuals. This is like CGI, cinematography, set, all that combined.
I'm going to give it a 3
Okay.
because, like I said, some of the practical sets I thought looked pretty all right. Some of the CGI was really bad. But there was nothing really, like visually, there was nothing where I went like, ugh, like, dang, you know?
Yeah.
But nothing, it still don't look that great, you know? It also kind of boring.
I'm also a 3. I think there was a couple times they really nailed the Borderlands aesthetic. There was 1 or 2 times I was like, yeah, that looks like it's straight from the game. I appreciate that. But the CG and the choreography and the fight scenes are just so boring that even though many scenes looked really good as far as like the set pieces go, everything surrounding and what they did with it was awful. So I'm a 3. Cool.
I'm also gonna go 3. I mean, for some reason you said like it wasn't great, but there was nothing bad about it either, really. I mean, obviously the CG was an issue, but like if there was like no practical sets and they all like green screened and Ant-Man Quantumania this thing, yeah, it'd probably be a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Audio. I normally give audio a high score if I think it like sounds good, but I also always pay attention to the best of my ability to the soundtrack. And aside from Motorhead's Ace of Spades, it is Motorhead, right?
Yeah.
Aside from Ace of Spades, I don't think I could name a single time I heard music.
I mean, it was just like generic background music.
But it was so generic
music,
that I
yeah.
didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Like, a movie can have generic music, that's fine, but like I usually notice it at least. Like I hear the generic music. I can't even remember it. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3 on audio. I want to go 2 because I can't even think of how. No, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing 2.
Even with the guns sounded good.
The guns are the only reason it almost got a 3. Like guns are it. Guns sounded great. Outside of the guns, that's it. I'm planning a lesson for my students on Foley artists, and I felt like they did no Foley in this movie. Which, if you don't know, Foley is like someone gets in a booth after the fact, and if someone's walking through sand, they put a microphone next to some sand, and they get some like flip flops or Crocs, and they go.
Yeah.
I just felt like outside of the gun sounds, nothing really was distinct in the slightest in this movie. So I'm going to drop it down now that I'm thinking about it more. I'm actually going to give it a 2. Can't be as bad as Cole 0, but there's a 2. All right, Cole?
I'll do a 3 off Ace of Spades alone on this one.
Ace of Spades!
Because that is a banger song.
I can't hear Ace of Spades and not want to sing Ace of Spades. Like I don't know why. It's in my body. So 3. All right. Banger song. Jonah.
It's hard. But between 2 and 3 also. I'm going to give it a 3. Like I said, I like the guns. The guns were loud. Like you said, they were crispy. And everything else was just serviceable, I think. But like I said, I don't remember any sound effects. Put a 2, actually. I didn't figure mine.
Am I the one being nice to it now?
I just
Put a 2.
I just convinced myself.
That's kind of what I did. Like
Yeah.
mid thought I was like, it's a 3, and then as I was talking, I was like, it's not a 3.
Yeah.
All right. Gosh, who do I want to have start this category? You know what, Cole? Cole, kick us off. You were the most correct prediction. Kick us off. Enjoyment.
Well, we're about to make history again, boys. The second 0 in movie rubric history.
0.
Hated it. Nothing I liked. Wanted to leave, but we have a podcast. I almost at one point, no joke, wanted to can I space out and imagine another movie?
Can I just take a nap?
Can I real quick in my head write a
Can I
different
watch
script?
Shrek right now or something like that? Something good.
Pull out your phone. You're just I'm streaming.
You just hear and it's just somebody wants
A princess met an ogre.
Jonah.
Enjoyment.
One could argue the most important category, even though we don't give it any extra.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think the nose exhales will give it a 1.
I'm in the same boat. I could really easily, honestly, when Cole gave it a 0, I kind of really want to be like, you know what? You're right. I would never watch this movie again.
No.
Maybe it is a 0. I just said that out loud, and I'm like,
I'm just saying, like, it's in my top 3 worst movies I've ever seen.
I will say this.
it's not quite there for me.
Easily.
If I had a really funny, angry friend, I would be willing to sit down and watch this with him to hear him like yell about it. If it was a 0, I don't think I'd be willing to.
But here's the problem. Really devoted, angry friend is a prerequisite. We watch bad movies for fun as a friend group sometimes, but
Yeah.
like this one's not even.
Not so bad.
It's
good.
not that like.
The Room.
It's not the right kind of bad.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The Room is the right kind of bad.
Yes.
There's some movies I don't like, but I'm like, maybe I'll review it. Maybe I'll like revisit it. Maybe if it was on TV, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever watch this movie again. And you're right.
Don't
I
either.
did.
Give into your anger.
I gave a snort here and there. I really did.
Angel and devil on his shoulder right now.
I gave
the angel saying 1.
I gave 1 or 2 snorts here and there, but Jonah, you said something earlier that clicked with me. I did almost leave the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, has any movie ever made you do that?
Technically, yes.
Was it Sausage Party?
No, I would have. If I saw Sausage Party in a movie theater, I would have.
I mean, I can't blame you.
If we saw that in theaters, it wasn't even my choice. It was Hitchcock with Will Smith.
Oh.
What my parents didn't realize
Hancock.
how Hancock.
You don't like Hancock?
My parents didn't realize how inappropriate that movie was going to
Oh.
be.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we got to
That's
like
not your fault.
we got to the prison scene, I think we got up and I think we went and saw Wall-E.
Oh, that's
You saw a better movie.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the same time period?
probably about the same time.
Yeah. So like,
do it.
my 1 would have came from the 1 or 2 times I laughed, but I think I gave that 1 to characters.
Believe me, you will not. I will not be offended in the
Do
slightest
it.
if you give it a 0.
Join me on the dark side here.
I'm doing it.
You could
Gary.
convince me if we sat here for long enough. Probably. Yeah.
You wanna do it?
I'm sticking with 1.
You wanna do it?
Because like,
You want?
there's at least a shootout. I guess
But it was a terrible
it was
shootout.
bad.
It's
but
Borderlands, and they blew the shootout.
They
on
blew the
that.
shootout.
And
I
then
mean,
the quickly following that shootout was like a haunted house scene with like a strobing light and like glow in the dark masks.
like
that
a
just-
hallway.
and at one point, a guy was hanging upside down and had Lilith like a knife to her throat and just didn't do anything. He just waited for her to shoot him.
Yeah.
The more I talk,
Come on, Jonah.
the more 0 it is.
I'm stick with 1.
I'm going to
stick with
eventually
1.
talk us into going to let us do negatives.
Cole's like, can we do -5?
We're -5. This movie stinks.
Let's do integers
Yes.
for our list.
All real numbers.
All right. Well, ooh, boys, she low. 29.3.
That's still too high.
29%.
What was what was everyone's individual score?
Oh, yes, you're right. Hold on. Let me plug this in before I forget because I sometimes forget. I was a 28, Cole was a 28, and Jonah was a 32.
Dang, I'm a freaking softie over here.
That's okay.
Give it a whopping
That's
F.
definitely that outdid the creator.
Just out of curiosity, if Jonah had given it a 0, would have only brought it down to a 28%. So wouldn't have like
Yeah.
completely skewed anything.
It's our new low movie here. New low.
That was a. That
That's
was a
going to be
rotten movie.
hard to beat.
Probably worst movie. No,
in a long time.
one of
that
the
I've
worst
seen.
movies I've seen in theaters.
So let's talk about this. I asked you guys to think on this ahead of time. I want to know
It's tough because
your 3 least favorite movies. Now I'm specifying least favorite because it doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be this level. It could just be some disappointing. You personally hated it. I want to know your top 3 least favorite movies of all time. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a bad movie. Did you guys think on that at all?
I
Or
did
am
think on that.
blindsiding
I
you
think
here?
I have my 3.
Okay, I'll start us off.
Yeah.
My friends who like this movie, because I know I have them. I know I have them who are listening. I'm sorry.
This might be me.
I respect your opinion. My number 3 is The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
me.
there it is.
I like
Yep,
that
there it
movie.
is.
Oh my gosh. It is. And here's why. It's the first time. Gosh, how old was I when Last Jedi? Cole's my secretary. How old was I when Last Jedi
That
came
would have
out?
been 2017.
17. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
so
like about to drive.
So we were
21,
So
22.
you're like
yeah, we
5
were,
years older than
we were,
me. Yeah.
we were in at John A. still.
Yeah.
I feel like up to that point, I liked most movies I watched. There was an occasional stinker, but I liked most movies I watched. That is the first time I've left the theater, and I felt sad. Something felt wrong. I felt like I was robbed. And it was I vividly remember walking with my 5 friends. I went with a different group of guys. We took a trip up to like the St. Louis Edwardsville area and like watched it in a super nice theater.
Ooh.
I remember leaving the theater and just being sad. And it started my ranting era. And I'm not going to say it turned me into a movie critic, but it made me start.
Are you saying this is your heel turn?
Maybe
This is your arc. This is your villain origin story.
I'll say this one. It's my cup of coffee. One time I had a really good cup of coffee at a coffee shop and it was a pour over, and I thought I'm gonna get a pour over kit. And like from there, I started thinking critically about my coffee. The Last Jedi was the movie that made me start thinking critically about movies. I'm not saying it is one of the 3 worst movies ever made. I'm not saying that. So please, my friends who like the movie, do not take it that way. But it is the movie that made me start to think. My heel turn, yeah. So that's my number 3.
Are we gonna do like 3, 3, 3, and then?
Yep, and then 2, 2, 2, then 1, 1.
So I'm gonna have a similar thing to what you just said there.
Okay.
Not Star Wars though. It's another property Disney owns.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Ooh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I was extremely disappointed because it was Ragnarok was before it, and Ragnarok was great. It's how do you say the guy's name? Taika Waititi. Great director. He did great with Jojo Rabbit. Did great with Thor Ragnarok. Blew it on this one.
Oh yeah.
Too many screaming goats for my liking.
I was gonna do a screaming goat.
Please
I'm glad I haven't seen that one. I heard it was really
Not gonna do
disappointing.
it.
It was like I was pumped for it, and then
I was so excited for that movie.
here's how bad it was. Here's how I was in denial. It was that bad.
Oh wow.
Like
Did you
initially,
go see it the second time?
I did go see it the second time. I had to like think about it for a couple days. Like it wasn't good.
Psychologically broke you.
Yeah, I'm trying to oh no, it wasn't that bad. Like it was just all right. It was just okay. It's fine.
You're right. That is similar though. 'Cause I went and watched Last Jedi another time. I thought maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Right? Like I went
Exactly,
paid
yeah.
extra money at a fancy movie theater. That's on me. I should have stuck to the cheapos at No, I went and saw it a second time in theaters and left more disappointed. So
And the first time, dang.
Jonah?
My third. This is one of the ones where I really don't think the movie is that terrible, but I have a bit of a story of why I hate it. I'm a bit of a cheapskate, I think, a little bit. So, a little bit. So, me and my friend, it was Eric. Actually, me and like 5 of my friends.
Wow.
We're
You
gonna
want to
go-
give me all of their first names, last names, socials, and addresses?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay,
and do
yeah,
that.
just that-
I'll actually flash them on the screen here.
Yeah, we'll pull up their
After
photo
editing,
just
yeah.
for just so people know who you're talking
Here's some
about.
pictures of them.
Yeah, okay.
But they, it was like a couple of us, and we're going to see Cocaine Bear, and I have I told you this story before.
no
I love.
I just
cocaine. I
expecting
was
it.
not expecting to build the cocaine.
me
Yeah.
either.
I love bears. I collect bear trinkets. So I was so excited for this movie, a slasher movie about a bear on cocaine that's going to be hilarious. So we go to eat, and I go on AMC. It's opening night, so I go on AMC and I buy the tickets. So then we drive to the next town to the theater, and I get in there, and it did closest location. The restaurant I was eating at was right by a different theater, and so I bought everyone's tickets, so it's $50. So I was like, oh crap, I better refund. The movie technically was scheduled for 8 that I bought the tickets for, and we got to the new theater at like 8:05, and no refunds at all after the movie started. So I lost like $50-$60
because of cocaine.
because of Cocaine Bear. And then thankfully my friend paid for my ticket at the other theater. So I'm still down like $50-$40. And then I go in the movie, and I was soured. Movie stunk. I hated it. It's like you have the best premise for a movie ever.
I mean, it's
For fun.
It's enough for like a shut your brain off and enjoy this movie kind of thing.
It had some cool
That's
kills, but it was so boring. There's people wandering in the woods forever. And yeah. I hated it.
Okay, that's valid.
Yeah.
I've heard some people defend that movie.
I never saw it.
I think I pulled it up on streaming and watched like 25 minutes and then turned it off. I never finished it.
It's
so.
not that great. It's like if someone says, "Oh, it's a 3 out of 5 dumb fun movie," I think they should have made it as corny as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Like,
it would have been pretty
just
fun.
double down on the corniness.
I felt like they were trying to take it a little more seriously than they should have,
Yeah.
even in that 25-30 minute window. And then I was like, I was eating dinner and I got finished with my dinner and then put on something else.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, the newest Matrix movie.
I never saw that one.
Rough, awful. I think I was really excited for it. I hyped myself up, and it was just such a letdown. It was not true to the vibes of the Matrix, the story of the Matrix, the themes and like ideas of it. It was just awful. It was just awful all around, and I hate that they brought back like half the original cast, and made such a terrible movie. And it just kind of destroyed. I think it killed the Matrix franchise. Like I think it had a chance to come back, and that movie just nail in the coffin. So
yeah. Remember people being kind of excited for that movie
they were,
And then-
for like till they watched it.
until they watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then no one talked about it anymore.
It was
Yeah.
rough.
Dang,
So-
that sucks.
I'm gonna continue with the theme of disappointing movies. My all three are not necessarily worst movies, like you said, but like just movies I went and watched and was completely disappointed. Second, number 2 here. First movie I saw post-pandemic, Space Jam: New Legacy.
Ooh, yeah, you love Space Jam 1.
Oh, yeah, Space Jam 1 holds a special place in my heart. It's just one of those. I mean,
Dude,
everyone.
I
has
know
them.
how much you love Space Jam.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know, everyone has those movies where like, are they great movies? No, but do they hold a special nostalgic spot in your heart? Yeah. Like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy this movie because it's like, you know, it gives you the whole Ratatouille vibe there, where it's like, go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Space Jam: New Legacy. Holy crap! Like they.
Bad.
I mean, it was about 10 years too late when they did the sequel, but LeBron was not great in it. Some of the Looney Tunes were funny. They had that, but the pig rap kind of ruined all that.
The pig rap, dude.
The Granny Speedster.
Granny, yeah, they it's one of those things where like you have. Also, you didn't really like even the NBA players they used weren't good at acting like the NBA players that they steal the talents from.
You don't think that he did a good job falling into the planet?
Like LeBron, no joke, does better acting on the court when he act like he's getting fouled than what he did in that.
He can act, apparently.
Yeah, he can act on the court.
Yeah.
I'm a Lakers fan. I'm allowed to trash LeBron. So
I don't think you have to qualify to trash a millionaire. I think that's okay.
billionaire
Probably.
now.
Billionaire.
He's billionaire now. He just
Yeah.
hit $1 billion.
I was gonna say I don't think you have to you don't have to justify it. That's okay. They're free reign. They're free domain.
Oh, yeah. Public domain.
But I did laugh at the guys. I found Michael Jordan, and it was Michael B. Jordan.
That was good.
I
That
did
was
laugh
funny.
at that one. That was like, okay,
That was a good joke.
you got me. Boom.
There was a couple good
And Foghorn Leghorn saying "Winter is coming." Come on, that's classic.
like the Justice League was like kind of like
They utilized all their property. Warner Brothers utilized all their properties in this.
yeah, which was kind of fun.
It was something different.
yeah, but-
At least they didn't like rehash and tell the same story.
yeah, like
yeah, I mean, it gave a smirk. That
But
movie,
I was
did,
very disappointed though.
Yeah.
That was another one where I'm like, there's parts of it's like, I'm like, okay, probably wasn't as bad. I'm like, okay, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But the more and more I deny a movie is like bad, is the worse it gets there.
I do remember very vividly we were at Matt and Molly's house, and I said that I thought the movie was really stupid, and I won't say you got defensive, but you did try to justify it. You're like, it was okay. Like you started to talk a little bit. You kind of defended it just a little bit, and I just remember being like, oh no, this man's in denial.
I was going to say that movie did to me what you said Thor: Love and Thunder did. I watched it, and I think I was like, I mean, it was all
here's the
right.
thing.
And then I was like,
It's a kid's movie. I get it, but like still, you got to try a little bit when you have you have that.
Space Jam's a kid's movie, and it's 10 times more fun.
Yeah,
than
so the
second
first Space Jam ages like a fine wine, in
It's
my
a blast
opinion.
still. Yeah.
Jonah, you're number 2.
So I was going to put Sky Sharks, but then I thought, is that really what like my third most hated movie is? And I was like, probably not, because I kind of expected that to be bad.
Yeah.
I think 2. Sequel to Year 3. I'm going to say Rise of Skywalker. So for context,
Fair,
I am one
fair.
of the people that like Last Jedi.
Really?
I like Last Jedi.
Still?
Yeah. I still do like it. I haven't watched it in a while.
Right.
We should have a debate sometime. Okay. All right.
I'm
Well,
joking.
it's
I'm
off the
joking.
podcast.
Well, we're gonna get another third guy here because Jonah's about to get
I
fired.
looked at the
talking
camera
about-
and I said I valued their opinions if they liked the movie.
But you didn't say anything about me.
No, you were.
You're on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
you're on the
that's right.
podcast. We don't have to value your
Yeah, we
opinion.
can.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I like Last Jedi. I get why people don't like it, but I like the direction they went with it. And then I remember.
I'm trying not to start.
Okay, hear me out.
At some point, we're gonna have to do a Star Wars.
I started saying
episode.
it'd be a really fun episode to like go back and forth on Last Jedi.
Go. Sorry, I keep interrupting. I'm not even interrupting you by talking. It's just I feel
No,
like
no,
my
it's cool.
my,
Yeah, your
my
funny
disdain for
faces.
the movie. Continue. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but anyways, I like that movie. And then the next few years happen, and Star Wars starts putting out like very disappointing projects, even more than Last Jedi for me at least. I think Han Solo was after Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was a year after.
Super disappointed with that. And then I forgot. I don't even remember what else they did. The other stuff they did. I
They
was
did
like,
Last Jedi, they did Solo, they did
Fortnite.
Rise of Skywalker, Fortnite happened.
Fortnite crossover.
Fortnite-
Yeah.
that was at least fun.
Yeah, that was at least a fun thing.
I hate. Go.
We're gonna have we're gonna have to have a Star Wars episode
Star Wars
at some
episode.
point.
I don't know if I can. My blood pressure can handle it.
It'd
Well,
be so
take your
entertaining.
meds beforehand.
I
It'd be
do.
so
Take them every
entertaining.
morning.
Anyways, so I was like the one guy who was like, you know what, I'm the odd one out here, but I like the direction the trilogy's going. I don't love everything about it, but anyways, then I was like, they had some trailers, and I could tell it wasn't going to be good. And then, what was it? I think Mandalorian season 2 came out around that time, and then they had like the banger final episode with Luke, and then my Star Wars like little kidisms were high
Okay.
going into the third one. So I wasn't like hyped for it, but like my Star Wars like fanness was up. And then I watched in Rise of Skywalker. I think is way worse than Last Jedi. Here's what I think about Rise of Skywalker. It so you had people that didn't like The Last Jedi, right? I would say 50-50. You had 50% people liked it, 50% people hated it. Maybe 60-40. Generally. And then so basically what they did is they tried to take 2 steps back, 1 step forward, go back on what they did with The Last Jedi. But also, since they went backwards, they couldn't really make a conclusion anymore. So then, if you liked The Last Jedi, you hated Rise of Skywalker. If you didn't like Last Jedi, you still hated Rise of Skywalker. And so then everybody hated the movie. And it's just such a nonsense movie, you know?
I don't know which one I dislike more, if I'm being totally honest.
It's tough.
But I went into Rise of Skywalker with my expectations in the toilet.
Yeah,
So
I
I
can see
wasn't
that.
let down.
Yeah, you were excited for Last Jedi.
No, I was not excited.
You weren't excited.
Like, I couldn't have been excited for the movie. That's the problem. Because I didn't like the last... Oh, sorry. Last
Yeah,
Jedi.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I was excited
That's
for
why
Last
you
Jedi.
hated it more.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, I Googled it. Last Jedi has a 91 critic, 41 audience.
So about 60-40.
Yeah. The Rise of Skywalker has a 51 critic and an 86 audience.
86?
Really?
Shockingly. Yeah.
86? That movie's so bad.
I think it's more fun, even though it probably is a worse movie.
I would, if you, hey, pick which one of these you want to watch. I'd rather watch Rise of Skywalker.
I think
Really?
I think so too.
See, Rise of Skywalker for me, it's so blatantly like, it's almost like Marvel-y, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, it's like they walk in, it's like, there's a guy in the shadows. Oh, it's me. I'm Lando. And then the part later
Yeah.
where
If you said it like that, it may save the movie.
there's like the running bit where the joke for years, like, oh, Chewie never got his medal. And then there's like, I got you this, Chewie. And she gives him a medal. I'm like, this is so stupid. This is like,
You sound like the
Sound like a boot.
who's the kid from Big Mouth with
Oh gosh, what's his name?
sounds like the kid. There's a kid from Big Mouth who has autism, and he's like,
Thanks.
It looks like you are angry, and he's like
Looks like you
looking
are
at a
angry.
chart of like a man with his eyebrows like drawn in. Like, that's what you sound like.
that's what the movie sounds like.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It was, and then I don't even know. I could rant about the movie for a while.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
We're gonna have to have a Star Wars episode one of these
I remember
times.
me and my friends laughed at the movie when
Doesn't
Kylo Ren crashes a TIE fighter, like crashes, hits the ground, flips, it's on fire,
And it just walks
explodes,
out.
walks out, nothing is on him. I'm like, I get he's a Jedi or a Sith or whatever. That's just stupid.
I hate that they redeemed.
Redeemed him.
We're gonna do a whole episode if
Yeah.
I'm not
So
careful.
I think it'd be an awesome episode.
It
with a
would
slow
be.
week. Yeah.
It would be. Josh still needs to watch 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah.
I
I
think,
think
we
he saw
watched.
7. He told me.
Did he?
I think so.
We watched 1 through 6.
Yeah, and Rogue One.
And Rogue One.
So you'll have 7, 8, 9, and Solo if you want to. Solo's bad.
Nope.
Solo's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Skip it. Okay. Valid options all the way around. I personally think that my number one can't be topped. I know that's very subjective. Like you guys will in your own minds top yours, but mine is Aragon the movie.
That's real.
Yeah,
Like from
because
Lord of the
you guys
Rings?
even watched it? No. You're
Oh,
thinking
sorry.
Aragorn?
Aragorn.
Oh, my bad.
That's
my
a
bad.
you know what's funny? I'm laughing because that's a very common
Like
mistaken
Yeah.
misconception. No, Aragon is a book series by Christopher Paolini, and he was pretty young when he wrote it, and I was pretty young when I read it. So he became a better writer. I became a better reader, and it's cool because my generation got that privilege of growing up reading better and better books as he became a better writer. Awesome. First book, while like being a little rough around the edges with his writing styles, a really good fantasy book. And the movie was like, when I was a kid, I loved the movie. I went back and rewatched the movie as an adult, post Last Jedi. It's bad.
Oh,
Talk
no.
about a movie not following or caring about the source material.
When you say this was made again?
I don't know. Let me look. Old. Aragon movie release date. I have a laptop in front of me. 2006 was when it came out. Now I'm going to look up the Rotten Tomatoes just out of curiosity. We've talked about this a lot. Rotten Tomatoes is not a good metric, but it's a good standard.
Yeah.
It has a 16% from critics and a 46% from audience. So like it's bad.
Yeah. Yikes.
And like I think the way I could like describe how disappointing the movie was is there's a scene, there's like many chapters in the book where he is raising this dragon in the woods and he's creating a mental bond with it, and he's raising it and he's feeding it and he's growing it, and like he comes back later and it's a little bit bigger, and he comes back later and it's a little bit bigger, and now where am I going to hide it? And it's kind of like quirky and cute. And in the movie, he takes the dragon, throws it in the air like a bird, and it grows to a full size adult.
Like a little like sea monkey.
That's magic.
Yeah, well,
That's
but you
goofy.
just like you cut out so much of what makes the book good. What makes the book good, in my opinion, and many people disagree with this, is the relationship between Aragon and Saphira, and like their growth and their learning to kind of work with each
that the
other.
dragon?
The dragon.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, should have said that.
That's good.
And there was some of that in the movie, but like it was just done with the least amount of effort possible, and the CGI was terrible, and the acting was terrible, and just every part about that movie was not good. And it stings extra much because that was one of my favorite book series. And if they had done a good movie, I'm just salty. This is my number one because I'm salty. If they had done good, it would have made a phenomenal movie series. Like, but they've done so poorly, I don't think anyone wants to touch it with a $10 million pull.
Yeah.
So, all right,
literally,
that's my number one. Cool.
Okay. So this one is going to be, I really don't want to say obscure. It's the movie Rocket Man.
Okay.
Elton
The Elton John one.
Elton John.
Oh, okay.
Really? I would not have expected that from you. You love those music biopics.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Mm.
They made it into a musical.
Oh. Isn't that Elton John though? Sorry. I mean, this is your movie. I'm
Yeah.
not. I mean, to
Here's the
disagree
thing.
with you,
If
though,
they
yeah.
would have marketed it as like it's a musical, it would have been okay. I'm expecting like Bohemian Rhapsody, but with Elton John. But
Okay.
this is like not even like storytelling. It's just like there's dance breaks and all this other stuff in between. I was just very let down by it. I'm wanting like the story and like all that stuff.
Okay.
I
Like
see that.
it
You
just,
really wanted like a certain.
I
thing.
wanted it, and it was like a complete 180 from what I actually got. Like if it would have done what Bohemian Rhapsody did, or the Bob Marley movie did, or what I'm assuming this Bob Dylan movie is going to be, it'd be fine. But
Yeah.
it wasn't it. And I think they kind of realized that like those biopics, like, oh, we flew a little too close to the sun on this one, and
As someone who doesn't love those biopics, I think they're okay. I think Elton John as a musical on paper works, but I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
it wasn't marketed like that. I'm thinking I'm getting like,
So you're more upset about the rug pull.
yeah,
Okay.
I was just like very let down. Like, and here's the thing, I was streaming it. I could have shut it off at any time, but I was thinking like, they're not going to do this the whole movie, right? And sure enough,
Ooh.
they did.
What they did.
And then at one
whole
point, it's like I have to finish it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm in this deep. I just got to finish.
I've already watched an hour, so. All right.
Yeah, I was just like, big old letdown on that one.
I get it.
Yeah, I understand that.
Jonah?
My number one is 2000 something or others, The Last Airbender for me.
There it is.
That was.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Avatar is my favorite show ever. I think it's one of the greatest shows of all time. And when I was a kid, I think I was actually like 8 years old when the movie came out.
And you were balding, so you probably thought you were Aang.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly,
you really related
yeah.
to
I
this.
was
am
always
I am the
related to
Avatar.
that character. It's like,
Yeah, I was like that. He's me.
it's me.
He's a dorky kid that's bald. So when I saw the movie when I was 8, I was just thinking like, oh wow, it's like water bending in real life.
You
Wait,
British.
I
Were
don't
you
know.
raised in England?
Now I was. But yeah, and then I watched it later, and I mean, is it the worst movie ever made, probably. But I
Did
think
Borderlands give it a run for its money?
yeah, no, it just really spits in the face of the show, like hardcore. They don't even pronounce the Aang's name right.
Ong.
Yeah, Ong. It takes 20, 30-minute episodes of TV, shoves it into an hour and a half. Sokka is the most boring character ever written. Katara, everyone's boring. I don't know what I'm talking about. I forgot that Iroh was in the movie. I had to look back, like, oh, they did cast a guy as Iroh in the movie, but he's like so boring and nothing like Iroh that you don't even remember who he is. And then even when you look at the bending scenes,
They're awful.
They look like they're like dancing drunkenly in the nightclub, and then stuff's flying around them.
One of my students, I showed them a clip of a bending scene, and they said, "Oh, that does not hold up well." And I said, "No, we didn't like this one today.
When it came out,
Like when this was in theaters, everyone thought it looked bad."
Yeah, it's just such a. There's nothing I like about it, and like there's stuff that's so laughably bad, but it still is infuriating. Like the one everyone talks about is when you have in the show, there's an episode where they're keeping earthbenders on a prison boat away from land so that they can't bend earth and escape. And the ship's made of metal. They don't know how to metal bend yet in the show. And like, oh, that actually makes sense. And then in the movie, they all are on like rocky terrain being held like
Like a mountain camp or
oh,
something.
like a mountain.
Yeah.
And then, but the writing is like, oh, well, they're scared. and then anyways, Aang gives a big speech like, oh, no, look, the ground's beneath you. You can rise up. And then there's a scene where there's like 10 earthbenders. Like in the show, earthbenders are insane. They're like doing like a little bending dance. They do this whole like gesture
You
dance.
got that one rock.
A little tiny rock flies across and like hits one dude. I'm like, oh my gosh. M. Night Shyamalan.
Now, I wish we would have thought about this ahead and done a list also. 3 movies that are so bad that they're good, but that's for another time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
do that
We'll
another
do a different
episode.
week.
Yeah. You said Avatar in the car because and that put it in my head. I almost put it as my number 2. But then I thought Jonah said he's going to do that one, so if I know, I'm going to try to pick a different movie. But that one was up there. You inspired my number 1. You also inspired what was almost my number 2, Dragon Ball.
Ooh, I forgot that in a movie.
Yeah, they did that.
Talking about animated, because you talked about Avatar, and it got me thinking. When I was thinking about this yesterday, just bad animated shows that did not translate to a movie, and because people just didn't care. And Dragon Ball, where you have like modern day Goku in like a public high school, like
I heard people hate that movie.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. Is that your number
Awful.
1?
no. Aragon's my number 1,
Oh yeah. Okay.
but
I
Dragon
forgot,
Ball
I forgot.
almost was.
I thought I was 1 behind. I thought you were going through 2. I got mixed up.
Well, guys,
So.
I mean, I forgot this was a Borderlands episode there for a minute.
This part was more exciting than the Borderlands.
Yeah.
It was,
better,
yeah.
yeah.
I think our podcast episode's more exciting. Honestly, if you are thinking about going to watch the Borderlands movie, just share this with a friend
Yeah.
and tell them, I promise you, while this is not incredible, it's better than the Borderlands movie.
Yes, you will enjoy yourself more.
Yeah. So
And it's free.
my last question is, where would you like the Borderlands franchise to go movie-wise? Would you like another one if they promise they're going to do it good, or do you think they should just never touch it again?
Promises me nothing. Don't touch it again. Just act like this didn't happen. We can all move on. And Eli Roth go back to make Green Inferno 2 or something. I don't know.
They should make a movie where they have a new character come and kill everyone from this movie,
That would be good.
and then it's over.
I would accept a sequel. Not a sequel, sorry. I would accept another movie, but it can't be a sequel. It has to be a bunch of characters in the universe that are not like from the games.
Yes.
So just give me a story.
Create new ones that we have nothing to compare it to.
Yes, a story in the Borderlands universe, rated R, with tons of goofy shenanigans.
Yes.
And then I will watch your movie. But if it's a sequel, I'm out.
Yes. I would agree. I would agree with that.
They have to cast will noon be alive by the time you get that sequel out.
Oh my gosh, that's a sad truth.
That's sad truth. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go see Romulus next. Don't know when, but I think that's our next big one. Or Cuckoo, if we can find a theater showing it.
Find it.
Yeah, if
it'll be gone.
you listen to Trap at the end, we said, "Oh, we'll let the audience vote," and I was like going to make the poll, and I realized that no theater around here is showing Cuckoo.
No, not not even within like an hour.
Oh, speaking of polls, you want me to announce the results of our...
Yes,
Online
please. I'm excited.
So I checked it about 20 minutes before we started recording.
Okay.
And I checked my phone. There's been no other updates. So for those that kept up, we put our top 10 Marvel lists on our Facebook page and let you guys vote. In third place, Jonah with 3 votes.
Sorry, Jonah.
My 3 votes were, I know 2 of them were my mom and my best friend, so I didn't really get a lot of.
And
the
that was
others-
my wife had a spite.
Oh yeah, and my yeah.
And then actually, Tyler, me and you tied for first with 6 votes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the tiebreaker, Jonah. Out of our list,
Do you have them pulled up?
I can get him pulled up.
I'm gonna go ahead and read them.
Yeah.
For our people who maybe don't follow us on Facebook, you should follow us on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, look.
I can't imagine there's anyone who listens to this and doesn't.
yeah.
But
I
maybe
don't know. Yeah.
that weird
Movie
unicorn
Rubric.
exists.
Nay.
Load. Okay, there we go. So we have, for my list is, I'm going from 1 to 10.
Yeah, and now I'm going to say this. Start with Jonah's list,
Okay, Jonah's.
and then read yours and mine, and we're not going to say, we're going to make an agreement right here. We're not going to say anything to influence him. Deal?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, want me to read Jonah's list?
Yeah, start with his since he's not voting
Okay.
on his.
Jonah's was Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, Endgame, Spider-Man Homecoming, Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
My list was Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man 2, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man, Deadpool and Wolverine.
He looked at me and raised his eyebrows when he said that.
Yeah,
He's-
because
I didn't want to put it because I was worried it was recency
I know.
bias.
I almost
that's
didn't
valid.
because of that. Captain America Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, and the Avengers. Tyler's list was Avengers Infinity War, Logan, Into the Spider-Verse, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, No Way Home, Endgame, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange.
Okay. You want to set that so you can see it?
Yeah, let me
Okay.
get a visual.
And Jonah, you're our tiebreaker.
Yep, we're not going to say anything.
You also looked at comments on that weren't on the post directly, but
Yes.
like on the shares. Okay.
Okay.
I don't even think I shared it. I'm a big loser.
The only one that on there was like a comment was one that was someone commented the same thing twice.
Got you. Okay.
I'm thinking, and I'm thinking.
Hold on. I got like you take your time. You take your time.
Here, I'm just gonna think out loud.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I think like Spider-Verse is one of my favorites. He has it at 3. It's not on yours, but there's also some other things like I love Spider-Man 2. Cole has Spider-Man 2. You do not. Me personally, I don't. My Doctor Strange for me isn't even anywhere near the top 10. But oh, dude, this is hard. You guys both have a pretty good
I'm
list.
sweating. I'm so competitive. I'm such a competitive person.
Man. Dude. I'm gonna have to go with Tyler's.
Yeah.
Because he's got Spider-Verse. He's got Infinity War. I think what year is that? 2.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Mine's at number 1.
I don't know. He got Winter Soldier and Civil War. Those are both 2 of the best. You got Guardians. You still have No Way Home. I think I love No Way Home. I want to put it at 1. That's just me.
Fair.
And Ragnarok's on there. Yeah. The only thing that almost you got is that you have Spider-Man 2 and you do not. They almost got you it. Yeah. I have to go with Tyler.
Okay. There was a few comments I looked at that like I was just a movie off because Winter Soldier, it was tied between Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and the Avengers for my number 10 spot,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I picked the wrong one. So if I would have had Winter Soldier on a couple of them, I think I could have squeaked
think
out a few.
You got to
stole a
pick
few
what's
votes.
best in your heart, even
Yeah.
if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I will say that like if I rank them objectively, not like my favorites, my list would have been way different.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I went by like my most enjoyed. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we're going to go see Alien Romulus this weekend. If today's podcast taught me anything, it's that if we go in with high expectations, then we might be very let down. So I'm trying really hard to temper my expectations for Alien.
It will suck. Well, you need to say that.
Yeah.
Alien
just
will
going to
suck.
wake up in the morning and be like, it's going to suck. It's going to suck.
Yes.
So yeah, so we're gonna go see Alien. Stay tuned. If you enjoyed this episode, like it, share it with your friends, please. We appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in. All right, bye bye.
Bye.